Hey, hey, hey. Happy Monday. Come on in and pull up a chair. The Daily Dope is in the air. Howdy, 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 gang. Yes, I'm Jeff McAleer, back once again as your host here at The Daily Dope, presented by thegaminggang.com, which I happen to be the Grand Poobah. Yes, I am the founder and editor-in-chief of The Gaming Gang. So welcome aboard. Tonight is Monday, August 3rd. Yeah, it's a brand new month for The Daily Dope. Anyway, it's August 3rd, 2020, and this is episode 520 of The Daily Dope. And for some reason, almost felt like I had a little frog in my throat. It's like, what's going on there? Anyway, so if this is your first time tuning in, checking out the show, let me point out this is very casual. Is certainly nothing along the lines of, say, rocket surgery. Just kicking back, talking about the latest in tabletop gaming news. So that means we're talking about board games and card games, RPGs, miniatures games from time to time. Every once in a while, we might chat a little bit about PC games, pop culture, but the vast majority of the time, we are talking about tabletop gaming. So also want to mention that if you like this video, by all means, be sure to give it a quick thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And if you do subscribe, ring that notification bell, because it will not only let you know when the Daily Dope streams live Monday through Thursday nights right here on YouTube. It'll also let you know when I upload reviews and unboxings and interviews and page throughs, and you get the idea. And of course, when you're not watching videos on the Gaming Gang channel, be sure to visit thegaminggang.com for all the latest in gaming news, reviews, comics, movies, TV. Get your geek on at thegaminggang.com. So this is a live stream, so that also means that chat is available on YouTube. It's not on screen. It's one of the ways that I keep some of the more unusual commenters at bay, but I do my best to pay attention to chat. So if you want to say howdy, or maybe you've got a question or a comment, by all means, chime in and I will do my best to respond. So far today, we've got a gray day. The madman as well is here in chat. So we will see what's cooking. Let me grab a quick sip here. Flaming Huron just popped into chat as well. There we go. So before we get into the news, a few different things. I guess we'll kind of start off on a sad note. Bad news, I guess. Well, we don't know. We don't know specifically if it's bad, but John Zinser over at AEG, Alderac Entertainment Group, I guess he underwent emergency brain surgery on Thursday. So AEG had released some information about John's health earlier today. And yes, I know I'm not on great terms with the PR guy over at AEG at the moment, but still, John Zinser's never been anything but nice to me. And God, what is going on here? I've been down here so long today. Yikes. And it has been really dry here in the Duct Tape Studios. I've been down here a lot today. More often today than for the past week, that is for sure. Why am I getting July 23rd showing up here as the date? I just noticed that. What is going on? I specifically changed this today. So let's see, what is the problemo? Is there? I'm like, yeah, it's August 3rd. And people are like, no, it's not. It's showing it's July 23rd. All right, let me open up Photoshop, see what happened here. Ay, I tell you, it's always something. So let's see what we got. Mm, 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 mm. That is weird. That is very, very weird. All right. Hold on a minute, Baba Louie. I saved this too. I don't know. For some strange reason, I'm having issues where when I save stuff, even like I actually went through to make sure all the news slides are correct today because it's been strange. It's like sometimes it doesn't save what I'm doing in Photoshop. So I don't know. I do not know. All right, hold on here a minute, Baba Louie. Now hold on there a minute, Baba Louie. I'll do the thinning around here. Okay, that should fix it. Boy, I tell you, what a pain. All right, there we go. So let me get everything back in in line here. So anyway, um, man, this takes its toll. Time is fleeting, says a great A. Anyway, but I was going to say, so I heard the bad news about John Zinser, and John had never been anything but nice to both myself and Elliot Miller when he was part of the gaming gang, and he and Todd Rowland always totally cool. So definitely fingers crossed for John, and hoping it's not. Well, supposedly there was some growth that was removed or something like that. They think they got everything. I don't know. We'll find out. So yes. So well wishes and get well wishes to John Zinser over at AEG. All right. So let's talk about some fun stuff, right? Some better news. So this week, as everybody's going through in chat, the time warp from Rocky Horror Picture Show. I don't know, kind of weird. I'm talking about somebody who could be dying, and people are in chat doing the time warp. Anyway, what can I tell you? So this weekend was the ENnie Awards. So Free League Publishing, boy, they made out like bandits. They won a slew of ENnies. They won for Alien, the role playing game, and then that Mjorgborg, however it's pronounced. So I don't know. I mean, I think they won that one four. That won four ENnies. I was kind of sad to see that my pals over at Cubicle 7 Entertainment only had one ENnie nomination. It was for their 12th Doctor source book. They did not win, but there was some cool stuff that won some ENnies. And we saw Stygian Fox, one of their releases for Call of Cthulhu, won an ENnie as well. So what we're going to do here is we are going to celebrate a little bit. And I've got a contest. It's going to be super easy. So it is for folks who are watching live right now, and also for folks who don't have an opportunity to watch live, or if you don't win something watching live tonight. So what I am going to do is I will have three winners. This is after the news. This is towards the end of the show. I will select three winners, and you get your choice of any award winner from this year that's available in PDF over at Drive-Thru RPG. Simple enough. You just have to be hanging out here, chime in when I get to the point of the show where I'm going to announce the winners, and you're in the running. Easy peasy. So for those out there who don't have an opportunity to watch live, I don't want you to feel cheated. So what I will also be doing is anyone who doesn't win, and you can only win once. So anyone who doesn't win during the live stream, if you watch after the fact, as long as you're a subscriber to the channel and make a comment on this video and make it nice, okay? You don't have to be like butt kissing, but I mean, if you're rude or nasty or something like that with your comment, you tain't in the running, Dooley. Don't know what to tell you. But all you got to do is be a subscriber, comment. I will choose 3 more winners, and I will announce them on Wednesday's show. So that gives people who watch after the fact a couple of days to comment on this video to be in the running. So let's see what's going on in chat before I jump on in. So some discussion of Storm King. The Storm King's Thunder for Dungeons and Dragons. A little sly flourish. So Flaming Heron says they actually went and bought some Stygian Fox PDFs, I assume PDFs, before today's show. Pretty wild. Stygian Foxes, they do really good stuff. Very, it's modern. Well, except they've got their Hudson and Brand, which is Victorian age Call of Cthulhu. But yeah, their modern stuff is excellent. The only quibble I had, and they did address this because they personally told me that I was the one who kind of prompted them to do this. I thought their PDFs were a little too pricey for being PDFs. And they agreed. They said, hey, you know what? You're right. And they lowered the prices. So I thought that was very, very cool. All right. So Flaming Heron says, yeah, bundles and PDFs for Stygian Fox. Very cool. All right. Let's jump on into the news. So some of the gang in chat was just talking about Dungeons and Dragons. Well, I actually have 2 D&D pieces of news tonight. First off, this October is going to see the release of not only, well, hang on, wait a second. What's going on here? There we go. I'm telling you, I had everything set up correctly here. Better not be a problem with my computer that I just built. It's like, hey. Anyway, first off, Wizards of the Coast, October 1st, is going to release a board game as an introduction to D&D. And I've got the dope on Dungeons and Dragons Adventure Begins. Your fast, fun entry into the world of D&D. Step into the exciting world of D&D with the Dungeons and Dragons Adventure Begins board game. Choose your character and work together along the journey through the lands of Neverwinter, facing fantastic obstacles, battling monsters, and defeating the boss monster terrorizing the realm. The role of Dungeon Master passes from player to player with each turn, so everyone gets to be part of the storytelling. The game features a quick entry to Dungeons & Dragons. Step into the exciting world of D&D with the Dungeons & Dragons Adventure Begins board game. That's a feature? Okay. This fantasy board game is a portal to the monsters, magic, and heroes of Dungeons & Dragons. Players work together as they journey through the lands of Neverwinter. Players can choose and customize their heroes, battle iconic D&D monsters, and experience a new adventure every time. So step forward, brave heroes. Adventure awaits. Or possibly adventure begins. Choose a journey in which boss your party of heroes will fight in the end. Choose from Felbris, the Beholder, Orn, the Fire Giant, Death Sleep, the Green Dragon, and the Kraken, who doesn't get a name. The game includes 4 plastic minifigures that correspond with the heroes featured in gameplay. Dungeons & Dragons Adventure Begins is for 2 to 4 players, ages 10 and up, Looks like it probably plays around an hour, maybe 90 minutes is my guess. We don't have an exact game time, gameplay time release just yet. This is going to carry an MSRP of $29.99 when it arrives on October 1st. So, kind of interesting. So here's what kind of throws me off a little bit. So it's a board game to introduce people to Dungeons and Dragons. Okay. But the problem is Dungeons and Dragons is not a board game. So that's why it kind of throws me off, where it's kind of like, okay, so I don't know. It's kind of like, I have no idea. I mean, it could be interesting. I would assume, I'm going to take a wild stab that I will get a review copy of this. So we'll take a peek. We'll get a chance to take a look at it. And usually it arrives to reviewers. Game releases from Wizards of the Coast usually arrive to reviewers in enough time for us to take a look at it and review it before it hits stores. So we'll see what happens with that. So a Grade A says that they were surprised that there's minis with this game. Yeah, they are plastic. They are, I don't know how soft the detail is on these or not. So I believe we've got minis for the 4 heroes, but not for the monsters or anything like that. I think the big baddies get a big standee. So this could be interesting. You never know. It's for, 10 and up. All right. Arriving next week from Magpie Games, which are known for their role-playing games, is a family card game titled Wizard Kittens. Here's the dope. Wizard Kittens is a cooperative set collection card game. Players are, you guessed it, wizard kittens who have accidentally released a few curses from the library's restricted section. Now they must defeat the curses before they're caught by the librarian, Professor Whisper. Each turn plays quickly but offers interesting decisions, most often around spells to use and how to use them. Spells allow kittens to draw extra cards, sling cards at other players, discard cards out of their own play areas, or trade any 2 cards in play. No player can use the same spell 2 turns in a row either. The game ends when either the last of the 6 curses is defeated or when the Professor Whisper card is drawn from the ritual component deck. If the kittens defeated the last curse, then they tally up points, including a secret objective extra credit card, and the highest score wins. If they're caught by Professor Whisper, then the cleanest paws clause applies. All kittens with 10 or more points lose. And from those who are left, the kitten with the fewest cards in their play area will win. Wizard Kittens is for 2 to 4 players, ages 7 and up. That's pretty low down there. Plays in about 15 to 30 minutes, and it will carry an MSRP of $19.99 when it arrives next week. So I think it is actually coming out on the 12th. I think that is the exact date. I am not positive. So I don't know. I kind of get a kick out of this. That looks cute. I like the artwork. The artwork looks fun. I kind of get a kick out of the cover, the box art on the cover, where it's the little wizard kitten, kind of like, I'm really trying to figure this out. So, but Magpie Games is actually really known for their role-playing games, like Apocalypse World or Zombie World. So I was very interested to see that they're releasing a card game. It's possible, I'm not positive, but it is possible this is their first foray into board games or card games. So kind of cool. Moving right along, next month we'll see the release of Tiny Epic Dinosaurs from Gamelyn Games, following a very successful Kickstarter. Here's the dope. In Tiny Epic Dinosaurs, breakthroughs in modern science have dinosaurs and humans existing side by side. Isn't there also an Ark museum that has that? This has allowed for a lucrative industry, dino ranching. Independent ranchers have begun farming dinosaurs to sell to the highest bidders for use in their high thrill theme parks. Oh, you high thrill seekers, you. You are one of those ranchers. Do you have what it takes to outranch your opponents and operate the most successful dinosaur farm? Tiny Epic Dinosaurs is a 45-minute 1 to 4 player game of dinosaur ranching, worker placement, and resource management. It features classic Eurogame mechanics with unique twists that portray the dangers of farming these prehistoric beasts. Don't put your hand in their mouths. In Tiny Epic Dinosaurs, players control a team of ranchers and will be acquiring, breeding, and selling dinosaurs. The game is played over 6 rounds, with each round consisting of several short phases. At the end of the game, players will receive victory points for each dinosaur they have, public and private contracts they acquired, and for their research developments. The player with the most victory points wins. Tiny Epic Dinosaurs is for 1 to 4 players, ages 14 and up. It's because of little dinosaur meeples. That's why it's got little pieces in there. It's the only reason why it's 14 and up. Plays in around 45 minutes and will carry an MSRP of $25 when it arrives in September. So I am going to share the original Kickstarter video for Tiny Epic Dinosaurs because it will at least show you some more things in the game. Because as far as images that are available to share with you, there aren't many that actually show the layout of the game. So kick back, give it a watch. It's about 2.5 minutes long. It's nothing too crazy in length. So let's give it a watch.
For better or for worse, breakthroughs in modern science have dinosaurs and humans existing side by side. This has allowed for a lucrative industry. Dino ranching. Independent ranchers have begun farming dinosaurs to sell to the highest bidders for use in their high-thrill theme parks. You are one of those ranchers. Do you have what it takes to outranch your opponents and operate the most successful dinosaur farm? Tiny Epic Dinosaurs is a 45-minute 1 to 4 player game of dinosaur ranching, worker placement, and resource management. It features classic Eurogame mechanics with unique twists that portray the dangers of farming these prehistoric beasts. In Tiny Epic Dinosaurs, players control a team of ranchers and will be acquiring, breeding, and selling dinosaurs. The game is played over 6 rounds, with each round consisting of several short phases. In Phase 1, players will harvest the resources from their farm that are not being consumed by dinosaurs. In Phase 2, players will put their ranchers to work. This phase has ranchers wrangling and buying new dinosaurs to farm, improving their farm security and supplies, vying for high-dollar contracts, and researching technologies and unique dinosaur breeds. These unique dinosaur breeds introduce a large variety of special benefits players can utilize to separate themselves from their competition. In Phase 3, ranchers return to finish their day's work at the farm. In Phase 4, players arrange their ranch, making sure their ranch is suitable for the types of dinosaurs they have. Phase 5 is the feeding phase, and every dinosaur must be fed. Dinosaurs that don't will escape, posing a grave threat to your enclosure's security and your other dinosaurs. Phase 6 is for breeding. For each pair of matching dinosaurs you have properly enclosed, you'll welcome a new dinosaur to your farm. At the end of the game, players will receive victory points for each dinosaur they have, contracts they acquired, and for their research developments. The player with the most victory points wins the game. The fun and smooth gameplay of Tiny Epic Dinosaurs will have players coming back again and again to explore the large variety of unique dinosaurs and hone their skills as a dinosaur rancher. Alternatively, players can try their hand at the solo game and face off against one of 4 different solo ranchers, each possessing a different personality and challenge. There is no better time than now to pledge your support and get a copy of Tiny Epic Dinosaurs. Every dollar pledged on Kickstarter makes the game better for everyone. Don't wait, join us and become a backer today.
All right, so once again, that was a Kickstarter video. That was from, I want to say November of last year. I know it was a while, but it wasn't years ago. So like some Kickstarters we run across. So I would think this should be pretty cool. Although there are some folks out there who the past few Tiny Epic games they have not been big fans of. I'll have more on that in just a moment. I didn't say I said that, but I do know there were some less than stellar reviews about the past two Tiny Epic releases. So, but come on, it's dinosaurs. And their latest game, which the Kickstarter is over with, but you can still pre-order it. You can still get on board, is Pirates. I'm really surprised it took them that long to get around to Pirates. But yeah, this is pretty cool. As the Madman points out, they just love the Tiny Epic games. I have to say, Tiny Epic Western, in my opinion, is completely underrated. Never hear anybody talking about that. And I really think that is an excellent game. It really, really is. Really do enjoy it. So a grade A is pointing out that they hope I had a good week off. I will talk about that when we finish up the news, as well as Gen Con in just a couple of moments. So let's move on into some role-playing game news. Because as I mentioned, I have two Dungeons and Dragons related news pieces today. Because just in time for Halloween comes the Curse of Strahd revamped from Wizards of the Coast for Dungeons and Dragons. Who do you think's got the dope? Bury yourself in gothic horror. Unearth the terror of Ravenloft in this boxed adventure for the world's greatest role-playing game. Under raging storm clouds, the vampire Count Strahd von Zarovich stands silhouetted against the ancient walls of Castle Ravenloft. Rumbling thunder pounds the castle spires. The wind's howling increases as he turns his gaze down towards the village of Barovia. Far below, yet not beyond his keen eyesight, a party of adventurers has just entered his domain. Strahd's face forms the barest hint of a smile as his dark plan unfolds. He knew they were coming, and he knows why they came. All according to his plan. A lightning flash rips through the darkness, but Strahd is gone. Only the howling of the winds fills the midnight air. The master of Castle Ravenloft is having guests for dinner, and you are invited. This includes Curse of Strahd, one of the most popular Dungeons & Dragons role-playing game products of all time, split into 3 parts. A 224-page perfect-bound adventure for characters of levels 1 to 10, a 20-page Creatures of Horror booklet of new monsters that appear in the adventure, and an 8-page Taroka deck booklet. Includes a cover sheet with Strahd von Zarovich's image on one side and Strahd's monster stat block on the other. A sturdy 4-panel Dungeon Master's screen designed for use with the adventure. A double-sided poster map showing the domain of Barovia on one side and Castle Ravenloft on the other. 54 foil-stamped Taroka cards, which help determine the hero's path through the adventure. And it includes a tuck box to hold those Taroka cards. Also includes 12 postcards, 3 copies of 4 different cards, which you can use to invite friends to your game. Well, well, well. You're cordially invited to be killed by Strahd. Curse of Strahd revamped, get it? Revamped, will arrive in stores on October 20th. So as I mentioned, it'll be in time for Halloween. It will carry an MSRP of $99.99. So it is a pricey edition. This is something I don't know if I'll actually get a copy to review. I don't know. I'm curious. Although I got to admit, just about anything that comes out for D&D does come my way, except for the $300 dice set that they had. That was sort of like crazy. Like, all right. So Russell Higgins has joined us in chat. Good to see you, Russell. Thanks for popping in. So let's see. Realm Smith is running a great series on this module, says a great day. Interestingly enough, my best friend Elliot, he's running this for his family. Oh no, wait. Is he? He's running two different campaigns. He's running one. I think this is the one he's running for his family. So it's like for his wife and his adult kids. But he has a daughter who is, if memory serves me correctly, I believe she's 13 going on 14. And her friends from school, Elliot runs another campaign. But I don't think it's Strahd. I don't know. I know he's running it. I just don't happen to know positively who he's running it for. So yes. So the Madman points out that he's of the belief they reworked and removed the Vistani gypsy stereotypes. I think that's also the case as well. I think that is true. Because I know there were people who were pretty upset by that. Of course, I could see good reason why. Gypsies always get the, short end of the stick on everything. So there are also some other changes as well, I believe. One thing to keep in mind is that if you already have Curse of Strahd, I have heard, I'm not positive because it's not like official, but I have heard that they will make the changes available as downloads, as PDF downloads. So there's that. So that's kind of cool. So Russell says, Strahd is good, but it's not something I really want to invest in. So Russell says, short end of the stick or sharp end of the steak? Well, the gypsies usually aren't the vampires. So anyway, could be very cool. I mean, I think it's pretty cool. It's not like we're sitting here and going, oh, well, thanks a lot, man. You're not releasing a new adventure. You're going to release this. No, because we've got that, what is it? Rime of the Frost Maiden, the one that's set in Neverwinter that is coming out. Is that November? For some reason, I think it's November. Maybe it's September. I love the artwork on the cover of that. I do. I actually have that as a screen, my wallpaper. I almost said screensaver. Who the hell uses screensavers anymore? I have it as the wallpaper on the computer right in front of me. So, all right. Moving right along. How about some news about the latest bundle of holding? That's right. Right now, you can score big savings on the Pelgrane Press Dying Earth collection. Here's the dope. Adventura Prepend. Once more, we've revived our January 2014 offer featuring the Dying Earth tabletop role-playing game from Pelgrane Press. This comprehensive Dying Earth complete bundle encompasses the entire Pelgrane Dying Earth role-playing game line based on the world-famous Dying Earth stories by legendary fantasist Jack Vance. This is one of our largest offers ever. For just $18.95, you get all 7 titles in this revived offers Essentials collection, which has a retail value of $76. And you get this as DRM-free PDFs. Includes the Dying Earth Core Rulebook by Robin D. Laws, plus the Dying Earth Revivification Folio, Robin's 2012 update that adapts the Dying Earth setting to his fast-playing Skullduggery system. There's the primer of Practical Magic, the Dying Earth spells adapted to the D20 system. You knew the Dungeons & Dragons magic system is based on the Dying Earth stories, right? There's a Compendium of Universal Knowledge, a huge, passably accurate, and incessantly entertaining encyclopedia of the Dying Earth setting. Cudgel's Compendium of Indispensable Advantages, worthy adjuncts for wayward wayfarers like the protagonist of Eyes of the Overworld and Cudgel's, or I should say, no, yeah, I think it is Cudgel. That's how it's pronounced. Saga. I listened to the audiobook so long ago. the K Players City Sourcebook, and the Scaum Valley Gazetteer, exhaustive travelogues of the ideal starting locales for new characters. And if you pay more than the threshold price of $37.76, you'll level up and also get this Revival's entire complete collection with the rest of the Dying Earth line. 17 more supplements and adventures worth an additional $106 that amplify your Dying Earth game at all 3 levels of play. There's Turjan's Tome of Beauty and Horror for the brave and adventurous seekers of the last 100 spells, as seen in Jack Vance's first Dying Earth book. Rialto's Book of Marvels, powerful magic for the fractious arch magicians of Rialto the Marvelous. Demons of the Dying Earth and Tooth, Talon, and Pinion. Denizens of this mundane world and its unspeakable subworlds that will ruffle your most blasé characters. There's 3 introductory adventures for Cudgel, Turjan, and Rialto level play. The Day of the Quello, Gomeshan's Tomb, and the Creep of Inaccuracy. There's Fields of Silver, an epic Turjan level campaign. In the Footsteps of Fools, all 5 installments of Ian Thompson's panoramic campaign. All's fair in Azonomai, Strangers in Sekevravoy, Lords of Sil, Beyond the Mountains of Magnats, and thence to Almery. The excellent Prismatic Spray issues 2 through 6, the authoritative Dying Earth RPG periodical with contributions from many gaming luminaries. I don't know why there's no issue 1. Was it never scanned? Never released as, digital format? I don't know. So make haste before the sun expires. You can score these savings through August 17th. And keep in mind, 10% of your payments after payment gateway fees will be donated to the charity designated by Pelgrane Press co-owners Catriona Tobin and Simon Rogers, the Cochrane Reports. Sweet. Very cool. Lots and lots of goodies in this. Especially if you're a fan of Jack Vance's Dying Earth, which it's been a long time since I did listen to the audiobooks for this. I thought it was pretty interesting. I liked it. I thought it was pretty cool. Very unlike today's fantasy, which to me that's cool. I like that. I've said it time and time again. I'm a huge Fritz Leiber fan. So I dig the shorter stories, which, some of the Dying Earth, I guess we'll say some of the Dying Earth stories are novella length, and then some are just kind of short stories. So pretty cool, pretty sweet. I mean, it's actually really cheap to get on board with just the core books to start off with too, to check them out. So anyway, let's move on to our last news piece because a new adventure has arrived for Mongoose Traveler. Here's the dope on Naval Adventure 3. Fire on the Sindalian Main. The Outrim Void is a dangerous place, rife with the remnants of ancient civilizations, pirate havens, and ravenous aliens waiting to surge across borders into unclaimed territory. Its only hope for survival is the narrow stream of stars known as the Sindalian Main. If the secure flow of trade can be restored there, the region might one day rise above its blighted circumstances. The travelers are sent deep into the void when they're assigned to the remote Imperial Navy base at Dreeps. There they must take command of a joint force task group and proceed along the Sindalian Main to Tik-Tik. It's spelled TK. Their mission is to interdict the planet to protect its native Sophantant species, the Tik-Tiks. Named right after the planet, no doubt. They soon discover that the Outrim Void is far different from slap. How about speaking English today, Jeff? They soon discover that the Outrim Void is far different from Imperial space. Once you leave Homeport, you enter a wild frontier. On the way to Tick Tick, the travelers must handle a plethora of problems, including assisting colonists, protecting Imperial corporate interests, navigating the complex politics of the region, and possibly staving off an alien invasion. Spoilers! In addition, they must somehow manage to keep the task group fueled and supplied without the ready assistance of the Imperium. Their objectives quickly expand and threaten to derail the primary mission. Fire on the Sindalian Main puts the travelers to the test. The glory and honor of the Imperial Navy is at stake. Fire on the Sindalian Main includes the following: a complete naval mission using the Naval Campaign Sourcebook rules, the Tyranian Cassia-class orbital bombardment destroyer, the Glorious Empire's Elar multi-purpose fighter. This does require the Pirates of Drinix and Element-class cruisers, shipbuilders, blueprints. This 49-page PDF is available at DriveThruRPG right now for $11.99. Yikes. That is too pricey for a 49-page PDF. I will be the first to point that out. And I like the Mongoose Traveler stuff. I really, really do. I think it's really well done. But it's a PDF. When you start getting more than 20 cents per page on a PDF, I tend to have a problem with that. I really do. But still, this naval adventure is part of this naval campaign where the player characters are actually naval officers. So that's a little different. So that's kind of cool. I've heard the first two adventures are pretty good. I have not seen them, but I have heard they are pretty good. All right, so let's see what's going on with chat here. So there is some discussion of Sword of the Serpentine. I'm not sure. Is that from Mongoose? Yeah, it's very possible that's from Mongoose. Great A's pointing out that it's still on pre-order from them with a little face. So that's it for tonight's news. Do want to mention, I was talking about that Traveler adventure being available over at DriveThruRPG. Keep in mind that the Gaming Gang, thus the Daily Dope, are affiliates of the Drive-Thru sites. So if you are going to go visit any of the One Bookshelf sites, like DriveThruRPG, please stop by thegaminggang.com first. Click on one of our banners, and that way, if you do make a purchase, I'll get a little portion of that sale. And I got to say, there are a lot of people who do that, and I really, really appreciate it a lot, because not only does it help keep the Gaming Gang website around, it also allows me to do what's coming up in a few minutes. Anyway, so for my vacation, I did nothing. I just, I read some and I kind of kicked back. We did actually get to play some games for a change, so that was nice. We did that on one day. And it was only for a few hours, but it was nice to, get back to the table. We have not had an opportunity to do too much of that as of late. Or I shouldn't say as of late, as of the past 6 months. So did do that. I popped in for Gen Con Online for about 10 minutes. And I was like, this isn't my bag of tricks. So, and I don't have anything against doing stuff remotely and doing, streams of, like Zoom conferences and stuff like that. That's fine. But the thing is, if you're going to do that and you're representing a company, you should probably not just be sitting there in front of a really crappy laptop cam. And I was like, okay, forget this. So that was it. That was it. That's all I did. So watched some TV, caught up on some shows. So I have to, I don't know if anybody's familiar with this show because I think it's on True TV, Tacoma FD, which is from two of the creators of Super Troopers, which I am a big fan of that movie. And I turned on a bunch of people to that movie over the past, I don't know, what, 10 years? How long has it been out? It's been out a long time. So I started watching that, and there was an episode where one of the firefighters is running Dungeons and Dragons for some of the other firefighters. And I thought that was pretty funny. And they didn't make the game out to be, you know, oh, what a bunch of dorks or anything like that. Got to be honest, the way they presented it isn't really how D&D is played, but it was kind of funny. So the firefighter who was the dungeon master was getting like power drunk. it was pretty funny. So I thought it was interesting how they included that into the one episode of the show. So a Grade A says that they were surprised how much tabletop role-playing game events were going on for Gen Con. Oh yeah. Role-playing games aren't that difficult to do remotely. Especially if you're using like Roll20 or Fantasy Grounds, or there's Astral, which is from One Bookshelf. And that's somebody else is working on one too. Just like there's a new role-playing game that is specifically from Roll20. And it's like, I think it's science fiction. I don't think it's science fantasy. Pretty sure it's science fiction. So that I could see them doing a lot of RPG stuff, but they were doing kind of like tabletop simulator stuff. They had different companies who were hanging out, you know, giving presentations on what's stuff that's coming out. And I don't know, I just was kind of like, it's like, I don't want to just sit here watching this stuff. It's, to be honest, I started feeling kind of bad. It was making me kind of depressed. I think that's the main reason I was like, yeah, I'm not going to watch any more of this. So that's that. That's what I did on vacation. Just kicked it. Watched, caught up on some shows. Started watching the second season of The Umbrella Academy. I'm not all the way through it yet. About 6 episodes in. I mean, it's all right. It's not grabbing me like the first season did. I don't know. I have no idea. So, so the madman said, hadn't heard of Astral. A friend might run a 4E campaign with it. Yeah, I don't know anything about it either. All I know is it's through One Bookshelf. So it is an offering from them. So I do not know. So Grade A says there's a new card-based RPG out called Quest. I have heard of it. I don't know anything about it. Just like, isn't Zombie World? We were talking about what the Magpie Games. I wanted to say Maytag. Yeah, you know, Maytag dryers, you know, they got a game coming out. Doesn't Magpie, isn't Zombie World like card based? It's not like Apocalypse World. I don't know. I don't know. So Flaming Heron says convention withdrawal. God, I can't say there'd be withdrawal because we haven't had any. So I had to laugh. Speaking of that, I saw an article on ICV2, and it's there's this owner of a game store down in, I think it's Springfield, Illinois, and he writes a column like every week about, you know, the inside dope. I swear, I think I have been there. I'm 99.9% positive that I have actually been to that game store a few years ago. Elliot and I drove down there because, if I remember right, he was looking for a particular game. And at this time, there were not a lot of game stores in Chicago. I'm sure there still aren't a lot of game stores, but I think there was like one or two. And they didn't have this game, but they did. So we actually drove all the way down to Springfield so we could get the game. Yeah, what can whatever. It's like a 4-hour drive. Yeah, Maytag RPG. There we go. Let's team up, gang. We're gonna create the Maytag RPG. It'll be a one-on-one kind of game, and the player character plays the Maytag man, and what he needs to do, or she could be the Maytag woman. You know, you never know. The Maytag person, what they need to do to keep their mind busy because they have nothing to do. They have no work to do, right? Isn't that the whole premise of the Maytag man? It's got nothing to do because Maytag appliances work so phenomenally. All right. So, I want to talk about some reviews, some stuff on the horizon, which you can look forward to. So later on tonight, you'll see my review of SpongeBob SquarePants Flux. So I will make that public tonight. Tomorrow, I don't know if I'll wait till tomorrow night. I might just do this tomorrow afternoon. I will make public my review of the alpha from Bicycle Games. Of course, SpongeBob SquarePants Flux is from Looney Labs, as well as Spin Master, which I'm surprised. I didn't know Spin Master was affiliated with Looney Labs, and Nickelodeon. Later this week, I will have my review of Forbidden Lands, The Bitter Reach. Told you I was doing some reading during my vacation. I will also have the Game Mastery Guide review for Pathfinder. Yeah, it's upstairs. Otherwise, I'd show it. Also got a review of Tiny Epic Mechs. Remember I mentioned, I said, yeah, some people have been really down, especially on Tiny Epic Mechs. Well, I will share my thoughts on that, as well as Tiny Epic Tactics. This weekend, I will be posting my review of Imperial Struggle from GMT Games. Finally had an opportunity to play this enough times to review it. And it is very different than either Twilight Struggle or 1960. I will talk about that as well. So those are the reviews that are coming. So I got some goodies as well in the mail. So from Game Right, I got a couple of games. I got Dungeon Drop, which is, probably won't be able to see this very well, but it's these little cubes, and it's supposed to be almost like a roguelike. So if you're familiar with roguelike games, like PC games. So it's supposed to be kind of roguelike, and it's you play an adventurer going through a dungeon, and these cubes all represent like monsters and treasures and stuff like that. Kind of interesting. So Grade A says, yeah, Imperial Struggle, not a short, easy game. That is true. That is one of the aspects I'm going to talk about in my review. Another aspect of it that I don't know if people are really noticing. So a lot of people were like, I'll get back to what I'm going to share in a minute. But as far as Imperial Struggle, a lot of people were like, oh, cool. This is going to be like Twilight Struggle, except it's Britain and France in, the 19th century, basically. Late 17th, or I should say late 18th and into the 19th century. It's going to be just like Twilight Struggle. Well, it's not. And it actually takes some time to set up. To me, Twilight Struggle is super fast. We got a little baggie that's got all the like little markers for, like NASA and the Soviets, on the space race track. We've got all those little counters for that stuff. And then we just have the influence markers broken up into different bags. So 1, 2s, 3, 4s, 5, 6s. Bingo, that's it. We can it's gotten to the point we can set up Twilight Struggle, be ready to play in 10 minutes tops. Imperial Struggle is not like that at all. Now, I'm not knocking it. I'm just pointing out, I think people who have not heard much about the game yet are kind of thinking, oh yeah, it's like Twilight Struggle, except with Britain and France, and it's not. It is card driven. Yes, it is card driven. So I'll wait until I share my review this weekend. So anyway, so Dungeon Drop. This looks kind of cool, and I think you can play it solitaire too, if I remember right. Yeah, 1 to 4 players. So this just showed up. This just arrived, as well as Dragon Realm. This is another game from Gamerite. Because I had touched base with them because we had done some reviews way, way back. I'm talking like probably 2012, maybe 2011, 2012, and hadn't done anything from them since. And I did notice they had Dragon Realm and they had Dungeon Drop, this is brand new. I don't even think this is out in stores yet. And I contacted them and I said, hey, those games are probably, because they'd reached out to me over the years saying, oh, hey, do you want to cover some of our kids' games? And I'm like, I don't have kids. So, I mean, I'm not one of these people who's like, yeah, send me games. I'll just, I'll just read the rules and make up a review. So I don't have children. Why would I take money out of their mouths, food out of their mouths, money out of their pockets? So I got that. Then my pal Glenn Seal over at Monkey Blood Design sent along Folk Magic of the Haven Isles. So this is pretty small. But you may remember the Midderlands setting, which is for Swords and Wizardry, NEOSR, really. So this is part of that. So it's magic. Very cool. This recently kickstarted, I wanted to say. As well as a bunch of the Midderzine. I think it's 6 issues. 5 or 6. 5. 5 issues of the Midderzine. Which I thought I already had a couple of these, but I'll have to double check. And then also Handy Maps, which is comes in a little box here, and these are maps. It's in a little popcorn wrap here, bubble wrap. So I will be opening that up. So, of course, I will have reviews of these very shortly as well. So, pretty cool. Pretty sweet. All right. So, what we're going to do now is we're going to wrap up. As I kind of stretch out. Like I said, I have been down here working on stuff a lot today. I'm usually not down here that long. I think the most time I spend down in the Duct Tape Studios is when I'm doing the show or like shooting a review or something. Like we had a little hiccup there for a second, but I think we're okay. All right. So what I need everybody to do is everybody who's still watching live, even if you have not chimed in chat before, because I do know we have some folks who, they watch and they don't happen to jump into chat, and that's okay. But if you want to be part of tonight's contest, I do need you to chime in. So, as I mentioned before, we are going to celebrate this year's 2020 ENnie Award winners by doing a giveaway. So I am going to choose 3 winners tonight and who are watching live, and you get to choose any one ENnie Award winner from this year. Easiest way to know what's on Drive-Thru RPG for me to be able to send you the PDF is to actually go to the Gaming Gang. I have the winners posted, and if they're available on Drive-Thru RPG, it is linked to that page. Some stuff that won is not available on Drive-Thru RPG. So, of course, I'm using some of my Drive-Thru RPG credit from the folks who are kind enough to click on the little banner when they buy stuff over on the One Bookshelf sites. So I'm going to use a portion of that credit to provide you with some winning content. So there, like I said, there's some really cool stuff. Very, very cool stuff. 1,000-Year-Old Vampire won 2 Ennies. And I didn't realize that had been out that long because I just did a news piece about it. I don't know, 3 weeks ago, a month ago. I guess it had been out for a while. You never know. All right. So if you are in chat and if you want to take part in this contest, if you want to be in the running, please chime in chat right now. I will give you a few moments to get aboard. So I assume, a grade A's probably. So grade A says, yes, Paizo announced a ton of stuff. Yes, I know. I like to do my Paizo stuff like a big boom, you know. Granted, it's usually about 20 minutes of news, but okay. So a grade A's chimed in. Russell Higgins chimed in. Gosh, come on. Oh, there, the Madman. How did I miss the Madman sitting there? All right. Flaming Huron? Anybody? Flaming Huron, you still around? There you go. So what we got? 4? I'm going to give a few more seconds here. Wow. That's some pretty good odds there, gang. One thing I want to point out before I roll, I've noticed the viewer numbers of the live show are just, I don't know. They're starting to get pretty weak. So for a while, we were hitting at least 100 views on each show. Not like tons more than that, but about 100. And now we're just 60 some, 70 some. Part of it, I think, is the thumbnail that I've been using. So I have changed the thumbnail. So Flaming Heron says, well, it says there's 5 watching, but I don't know if that includes me, as in me. It doesn't. I'm not on YouTube. I only have the chat window open, separate. So I'm not on YouTube. I'm only in the chat. So there's somebody lurking. So that's cool. That's fine. All right. So we've got 4. We got 4 contests. Participants. I got to dig around. I'm digging in my. All right. Come on. Am I old school or am I old school? Come on. Right. This is my dice bag. I have had this. Look at how clean and nice it looks for being a Crown Royal bag. I have had this bag for at least 25 years. So, all right. So I got my 4-sider here. So we've got, we're going to go with a grade A1. The Madman 2, Flaming Huron will be 3. And then Russell Higgins will be 4. So the Madman says, I think I got about 10 of those bags. Thing is, I don't drink Crown. So was never a Crown Royal fan. All right, so here we go. Let me get a box top here. And number 3. So number 3 is Flaming Huron. Right? So it's a grade A, the Madman, Flaming Huron, and Russell Higgins. So Flaming Huron, you know the drill. Shoot me an email. So I've got your email address. And let me know which of the ENnie Award winning titles that's available on Drive-Thru-RPG you would like. All right, next winner. All right, so that was the same number. Number 1. So number 1 is a grade A. And last one, it's going to be between the Madman and Russell Higgins. So we'll say 1 to 2 is the Madman, 3 to 4 is Russell. And it is Russell Higgins. So the Madman, what I would recommend you do is leave a comment, man. Just leave a comment on the video, remember? So those are the 3 winners. My email address, if you follow me on Twitter, it's right there in my Twitter bio or whatever you want to consider it. But it is Jeff McAleer at thegaminggang.com. And of course, as I had mentioned before, if you don't have an opportunity to watch live, and I know there are plenty of people out there who don't, but they watch after the fact, you can be in the running as well. I'm going to do 3 more PDFs to give away. All you have to do is comment in the comment section of this video before 6 p.m. Central Time on Wednesday. So 6 p.m. Central Time on August 5th. Make sure you have your comment in and don't be rude. So, because somebody's like, yeah, Jeff, you're a jag. Hey, guess what? You won. No, ain't gonna happen. All right, that is it for tonight's show. So nice to be back. Good to be back. Pretty cool. I made some changes to the audio volume because it seemed like it was like after the videos render on YouTube, it seemed really loud. So hopefully doesn't almost like clipping loud, but it wasn't clipping yet. So, all righty. Anyway, that's it for tonight's show. As I always like to mention, if you like this video, be sure to give it a quick thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet. And of course, if you do subscribe, ring that notification bell because it will not only let you know when the Daily Dope streams live, Monday through Thursday nights, right here on YouTube. I'll also tell you when I upload other videos, such as the review of SpongeBob SquarePants Flux, which will be live later on tonight, probably in about a half hour or so. Anyway, those of you who hung out watching live, thank you very much. Always, always appreciate that. And of course, for those of you who watch after the fact, maybe even on Memorex, certainly have a soft spot in my heart for you folks as well. Anybody who takes some time out to watch any of my videos are definitely appreciated. I'll tell you that right now. Of course, when you're not watching videos right here on the Gaming Gang channel, be sure to visit thegaminggang.com for the latest in gaming news, reviews, and a whole lot more. All right, I will be back tomorrow. So everybody enjoy the rest of your Monday night / Tuesday morning. And of course, as I close out during this time of pandemic, here's hoping that you stay smart, be safe, or be smart and stay safe. One of the two, or 4. Oh, you're still here. Well, if that's the case, by all means, subscribe to the Gaming Gang channel by clicking right here. And of course, if you want to catch up on past episodes of The Daily Dope, check out this playlist. And if you'd like to see what YouTube's recommending you take a peek at from the channel, just give a click right over here. Of course, I'm Jeff McAleer, and once again, thank you very much for watching.